So, there's a huge debate happening in the real estate world right now, and it's all about a hidden cost that you might be paying without even realizing it. It's something called a referral fee, and it's basically pitting one massive state against the entire country in a battle over transparency.
I mean, think about it. When you're online looking for a home and you click that button to connect with an agent, do you ever stop and wonder what's happening behind the scenes? Is there some kind of backroom deal, a secret payment from that agent back to the website? Well, let's dig into what's actually happening here.
All right, so our story really kicks off in California, which is making a really bold move that honestly a lot of people think is long overdue.
And here's the headline news. The California Association of Realtors, or CAR for short, is basically drawing a line in the sand. They're telling all their agents, hey, it's time to pull back the curtain. Consumers deserve to know exactly where their money is going.
And you have to understand, this is a huge deal. We're talking about an organization with 190,000 members. CAR is a powerhouse in the industry. So when they decide to do something this big, it doesn't just make waves, it sends a shockwave across the entire country. So how are they actually going to pull this off? Well, they're getting right down to business. They're updating their official forms to include super clear, easy-to-understand language about these referral fees. It creates one standard way for every agent to disclose these deals, making it really simple for them to be upfront and ethical.
Okay, but to really get why California's move is so dramatic, we need to zoom out and look at what just happened on the national level. Because let me tell you, the timing here is everything.
That's right, just days before California's big announcement, a very similar proposal to require these disclosures for all realtors nationwide was shot down. The National Association of Realtors, that's NAR, tried to get it done, but it just didn't happen.
And this is where the plot really thickens. You'd think everyone would be on board, right? Well, the national leadership, the board of directors, was overwhelmingly in favor. We're talking 84%. But when it went to a larger vote of local representatives from across the country, it hit a brick wall. It needed a 2/3 majority to pass, and it didn't get there. It really shows this deep divide between the national vision for transparency and maybe what local agents are worried about in their day-to-day business.
And just look at this timeline. It's incredible. November 20th, the national effort fails. And then, just 4 days later, 4 days, California comes out and says, fine, we'll do it ourselves. It's a pretty defiant move, and it's setting the stage for a major showdown in the industry.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about this fight between the state and national groups. Let's just hit pause for a second and make sure we all understand what this referral fee thing is all about.
Right? We've been throwing this term around a lot, but what does it actually mean? And more importantly, how does it affect you when you're trying to buy a house?
You know, in the simplest terms, it's basically a finder's fee. An agent pays a company, usually one of those big property websites you browse all the time, a cut of their commission just for sending you, the client, their way.
Here's a real-world example of how this all plays out. You're on a website, you find the perfect home. The site says, we'll connect you with a local expert. Great. You work with that agent, you buy the house. But behind the scenes, that agent might have to pay 30 or even 40% of their commission check right back to that website. The whole debate is, shouldn't you, the person at the center of the deal, know that's happening?
So, why is this such a big deal? Why is it causing all this drama at both the state and national level? What's really at stake here? At its core, this isn't really just about money. It's about trust. It's about making sure you have all the information you need to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. It's about leveling the playing field so you can feel totally confident in the professional you choose to work with.
And, the president of CAR, Tamara Szymanski, she just nailed it with this quote. She basically says that when clients are in the loop about these fees, they feel empowered. They can ask better questions. They can evaluate their agent service with confidence. It's all about building a relationship on trust, not on secrets.
So where does all this leave us? You've got two incredibly powerful real estate groups with two totally opposite approaches. What does this signal for the future of buying and selling a home?
I mean, here it is in a nutshell. This is the tale of two policies. On one hand, the national organization couldn't get the votes, so things stay as they are. On the other, you have California just forging ahead on its own. It's a fundamental split on how the industry views its responsibility to you.
And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? There's that old saying, as California goes, so goes the nation. Is that what's going to happen here? Will other states see what California's doing and decide to follow? Could this actually force the national conversation to start all over again? Right now, everybody is watching, and only time will tell.